Freestyle Travel. Hey everybody, kenflannery, your host as always. It's been a minute, so got a lot to catch up on. In this episode, I'm going to tell you about my travels from, I think last episode I was in Nevada, Laughlin probably, maybe Vegas. I've since been to New Orleans, Mississippi. I made a new BivyPack, so I'm going to tell you a lot about that. And I think I've got a new tool in my bag of tricks, travel tricks, TrustedHousesitters.com. That's a new development, and I think that's going to be working out pretty well. So I'm going to tell you about my experience with that. And right now I'm in North Carolina. Got here for Thanksgiving, and about to hitchhike down to Florida tomorrow. Not sure how fast I'll be doing that, but got a lot of things in motion. Got some new projects I'm working on, and yeah, some travel tricks along the way to tell you about. So yeah, let's just get right into it, shall we? All right, yeah, so I am in North Carolina. Let me catch you up on my travels here, and like I said in the intro, I'm excited to tell you about the new BivyPack that I made. I actually made 4 of them. 3 people sort of pre-ordered it sight unseen, which was really cool. Shout out to you guys. They all got their packs now. So I knew I wanted to make a new BivyPack for myself, and this is all leading how I get to Mississippi. I'd had the one that I had been traveling with for about 2 years. I made it during the lockdown stuff of 2020. Happened to be at my friend's place who had a sewing machine and stuff, so I took that opportunity to do that. And yeah, I've been using the same pack since then. I've had some slightly better ideas for improvements and things like that, so I was really just like wanting to do it. If you listen to the last podcast, I was with a new friend up by, was it Santa Cruz? Talking about backpacks, and he's making some stuff, so it's just like getting in my head even more. Should really make a new one. So yeah, Mississippi was the move. I found a plane ticket from Las Vegas to New Orleans for $30. So I'm like, all right, that'll save me like a week of hitchhiking or whatever. And worked out super well. I'm trying to remember the exact specifics, but I'm pretty sure I went to Laughlin first, which is where I recorded part of the last episode, which is a small-ish town, casino kind of town on the Colorado River to South Vegas, like an hour drive or so. So I hitchhiked up to Vegas from there, and yeah, I definitely won some money. I forget how much, but over $100. So basically, free plane ticket to New Orleans. So yeah, hung out in Vegas and yeah, did well. Money-wise, jumped on that plane, went to New Orleans. When I got to New Orleans, which was the closest airport to Mississippi, where I've got some friends I wanted to see who also got a sewing machine and all that stuff I was going to make the new packs. Came into New Orleans, caught up with a friend of mine there, and then he gave me a ride the next day to Mississippi, and then it's kind of game on. It was just like fully working out the design, ordering the materials, and let me just tell you about the backpack a little bit that I made. I'm going to make a full video I'm going to throw on YouTube, probably on the Hobo Lifestyle channel soon. I don't know, as soon as I make time for it. Maybe I'll even do it today. I don't know. But yeah, I use this new-ish material called Ultra. It's just like super light, but also real durable as the main part of the backpack. And I made everything modular. So the bivy tent can be disconnected fully from the backpack, but still latches on to the backpack frame to be like tent poles. And I made the jacket, which is the fly of the tent, but also a trench coat. I made that longer, so it's like a full trench coat now, which also allowed me to make a larger part of the bivy a lighter and more breathable material. Because 90% of the time I use my bivy tent, it's not raining, so it's gonna be that much more comfortable 90% of the time, and still just as good when it rains. So yeah, just a bunch of improvements like that. I made it so the shoulder straps are completely detachable, which is good for 2 reasons. One, the straps, just like my last design, have pockets in them. So instead of like padding built in, I can use my socks, which I've been doing the last couple designs. Stuff the shoulder strap pockets with my socks, that's the padding. But now that the straps are removable, I can daisy chain them together even with the hip belt in any number of ways, and it can be like a little fanny pack or satchel or whatever, something I can say if I'm staying with someone and I'm just gonna go to the beach for the day or something, I can throw a few little things in there and just like carry those around like a little bag themselves. And it means if I get a better idea somehow for a new design of the shoulder straps, I can just make new shoulder straps without redoing the whole backpack. So that's pretty cool. That's an upgrade for sure. And yeah, it's all pretty much the same weight. I think all that stuff is under a pound still and does all the things I needed to do. So I'm super stoked. And yeah, like I said, 3 other people bought it. So I made 4 altogether. So now they have theirs and I got mine. And I'm stoked. So did that. I also made a sleeping pad, my first inflatable sleeping pad that I've made myself. That was a little bit of an endeavor. Just something I wanted to dive into and try. So I did that. I can tell you more about that as I use it more, but it's nothing special in that it's just a inflatable sleeping pad. It's a certain particular small size that no one else is making, but other than that, it's not like incredibly unique. It was more just I wanted to make something inflatable. That way I've done it, and if I want to make like an inflatable kayak in the future, or if I get another kooky design for an inflatable sleeping pad, I got a few ideas. At least now I've done it. It involved using like a little iron and melting pieces of fabric together and getting a valve and stuff like that. So I'm glad I've done it. I've tested it out, and it's working pretty good. It's just the perfect size. Like I said, it's just skinnier and not as long as any commercial sleeping pad because I'm kind of a psycho and wanted the exact size. So that's cool. I've got that. And what else did I make while I was there? A couple other little things. Nothing huge, a little thing for my toothbrush top. So yeah, just enjoying doing that, and I was amongst great friends while I was there in Mississippi. So pretty cool, just doing that, hanging out, being around good people. And New Orleans was close by, so towards the end I was kind of going back and forth. And those of you who've been following my adventures and stuff, maybe you remember me mentioning I was writing a screenplay earlier this year and kind of got sidetracked because I had to do the video editing for the beer show Hopping. So I stopped doing that, but at the very start of the year I was in Vermont and I was doing that writing and getting into the script and then kind of went away from it. So I had a buddy in New Orleans who's kind of into it. So I went over there and kind of like re-immerse myself into the world of this script, and now that's kind of what I want to keep doing for the rest of the year. So as I was doing that, I was like, I'm wanting to leave the country again, and figured I didn't want to leave the country till I came here to North Carolina to see my brothers, my dad, stepmom, a bunch of family over here for Thanksgiving. Perfect time to come over. So I hitchhiked on over here, and I got 22 rides hitchhiking from, Mississippi really. Yeah, pretty much Gulfport, Mississippi to here. 22 rides, took 3 overnights, and I'll just tell you about a few of the rides, because it was good. The first day was kind of slow. I honestly thought I was gonna make it in like a day quicker than I did, but that's all right. The first night was really cold. Well, specifically it was like 29 degrees. So I was like, all right. I made a space blanket too. I forgot that one was an easier thing to make. I got this Tyvek with a reflective, one side is reflective. So kind of like a durable space blanket. So I got to test that out the first night and it worked. I was warm enough, with that in my sort of lightweight quilt. Got that going. I think the first night I only got just a little bit north of Mobile, Alabama. I got a ride from a guy with like 4 or 5 sailboats, I think he said he had. That was pretty cool. And oh, that's right. I got dropped off at a casino was the last ride, somewhere in Alabama, just north of Mobile. And the casino sucked. Like, even me, I'm like prone to be a degenerate, but it was a big casino, but it was like only slots. Just slots, nothing else close to anything. So it's like, I won't even do that. So I signed up. They have the card that you can sign up for, like every casino, like a Players Club card. So I signed up for that to see if I get anything free. I did. I got a $10 food credit, which was good enough for some chicken tenders. So I got in there and it was like warming up because it was already getting cold out. It was already dark. That's what sucks about hitchhiking this time of year, is it just gets dark at like 5, 6 o'clock, and essentially the day is over for hitchhiking. There are ways to keep going, but it kind of reduces opportunities hitchhiking wise when it gets dark. So just staying in there, staying warm, thinking about where I'd camp, and then went and found a spot and managed to stay warm enough. The next day I got as far as just east of Atlanta. I got a ride from a really cool girl. She was going up to Greenville, South Carolina, and it's not on the way, but I probably should have gone there with her, because by the time it got dark, I would have been further or closer from there to where I was going, just by like an hour drive, even though it was out of the way. But instead, I got out in Atlanta and didn't get far, much further past Atlanta. So I went to a bar that night, again, because it gets dark at like 5, 6 o'clock and I'm still awake and not trying to be out there in the cold. Again, it was probably like 30, 35 degrees that night. And in the bar, I met some dude. He was super drunk. Not super, I guess he was super drunk. He was pretty drunk, with his girlfriend or baby mama, whoever that was. And he actually was like, oh, I'm going to Myrtle Beach tomorrow. I can give you a ride. So we exchanged numbers, but like I said, he was pretty drunk, and I was like, I don't think this is gonna actually pan out. People say a lot of shit when they're drunk. I almost got a ride to the Bahamas on a boat from a dude who was drunk years ago. Anyways, and he also said he'd be leaving at like 1 or 2 p.m. the next day. So I'm like, I wasn't gonna trust that. I certainly wasn't gonna wait around. And sure enough, he never did call or text me, but he would have gotten me as far as where I got anyways, which is to Florence on I-95. Good rides again that day. The best one was this girl going pretty much to Augusta nearby. Super cool girl. She lived in, I think she said 23 states. That's how many states she's lived in or worked in, and just wants to travel. She's waiting for some like medical lawsuit kind of thing to be done, and just really wants to travel. Super cool. Again, if I wasn't like on a mission to get here for Thanksgiving, she like invited me to come back and shower and stuff, and like, I don't know, I would have talked to that girl forever. If she wanted to go to anywhere, I would have gone with her. But instead, my dumbass was like, oh, I'm using all the daylight I can. I gotta keep moving. And whatever, I did make the right decision. If I had gone back with her, I probably wouldn't have made it here in time for Thanksgiving. So, fucking A. You win some, you lose some. But yeah, I just love meeting good people. So that was one of them. And I think I got one more ride just past Columbia, South Carolina. And then right as it was almost about to be too dark, past sunset, I got a ride from this dude. His English wasn't great, but super nice guy. We get to Florence. I think he went out of his way to get me right to I-95. And not only that, but he took me to McDonald's, said, get whatever you want. And then he went across the street and came back with a hotel key and said, I got you a room for the night. Don't sleep in the cold. And then he drove back wherever he was going. And I had a hotel room for the night. How crazy is that? So fucking nice people out on the road. So that was incredible. Full belly. And hotel room after a couple nights camping, shower, all that stuff. Woke up the next day, and just 4 more rides to get exactly to where I was going. So that was great. What was the first one? Oh, I made a sign with a turkey on it that said North Carolina, and I think, 2 out of the 4 people who gave me a ride said the turkey was the reason that they picked me up. So that was very cool. Actually, there's a whole family. They were going the second ride of the day. Actually, the first ride of the day, that dude took me to a Burger King or something, and like gave me $20. So I like went in there and got coffee and some breakfast, and he said he'd actually be back in 30 minutes, probably, maybe. But in between that time, I got a ride from this family. They were going all the way to Pennsylvania. It's 2 women and a couple kids in the back. So I'm like, oh damn, if I was going all the way to Pennsylvania, this would be a hell of a ride. But as it was, I just went like 17 miles up to the turnoff where I had to start heading to the coast. Some crackhead gave me a ride, really nice crackhead. He's just been smoking crack his whole life, and he was on his way to Charlotte. He actually saw me go in the opposite direction and U-turned to pick me up. And I think he would have given me a ride all the way to pretty much Wilmington is where I'm at right now, on the coast near Wilmington. I think he would have taken me all the way, but I was like, dude, he said he had just like panhandled for gas or something like that. I'm like, my luck is incredible. You don't need to burn all this gas and time just doing me a favor, because it would have been like another hour of driving. So he drove me part of the way, told me some of his crackhead stories. And yeah, finally I got a ride from a guy who was just going grocery shopping for Thanksgiving. So he said, screw it. He took me directly to town. So now I'm here, caught up with everybody. Did the Thanksgiving thing. And yeah, that brings me to my next move and my newest trick I mentioned in the beginning is TrustedHousesitters.com, which is a website that I've known about for years, and I just never jumped in and started using it. There's like a membership fee, and I just, even if it was $10, I wouldn't have, it's just, I don't know, not paying for stuff, but I think it's totally gonna be worth it. I'm on there now, and yeah, since I'm like caught up to date, I'm gonna play that little music, and then I'll tell you about Trusted House Sitters, what I'm doing next. Yeah, here we go. All right, TrustedHousesitters.com. So I haven't officially done it yet, but I got on there a couple days ago, and already I think I found a place, like I'm almost positive I got a place in San Diego to house sit for what looks like a really cool dog for 2.5 weeks or something coming up. Like, I was pretty impressed like how quickly there's so many. All right, so I want to get this writing done for the script that I'm writing, and I think I just need to be like, alone in a spot for at least a couple weeks to really put a good dent in it, or even finish it. I don't know. So I'm like thinking of different ways I can do that, and I remember this site, and yeah, I started looking at the site, and there's just all over the world pretty much. There's these people who, they got a cat or a lot of cats or dogs or whatever, and they just need someone to watch their pet is mostly what it is. They like water the plants or whatever. But I mean, you name it, Australia, Vietnam, all over the United States, Europe, there's a lot of these listings on the site. And yeah, sure enough, the one in San Diego seems like it's a go, and it was just super quick. I sent them a message. They sent me a message within an hour, I think, and then a couple more back and forth, and it's like, all right, good to go. I think I'm going to get them on a video chat today. But get on over there. And yeah, this is just a whole new world for me, like a whole nother tool that I can use, because obviously I love the concept of couch surfing. Couchers.org and Trustroots, what I use now, and couch surfing is what I used to use. And that's great for like staying somewhere for 2 or 3 nights, and it's really great for meeting a person. So it's Trusted House Sitters. I think it's way less about the people because they're obviously out of town. But for situations like this where I got like a bunch of writing to do, this is might be a winner. Might be a winner. So actually they like a lot of sites like this, there's a referral code, so I'll paste that into the description of this or whatever, and you get 30% off if it's something that you think you might want to do. I think the basic year subscription is $100, so this will chop some of that off for you. And if you think about it, if you were to like pay for a hotel room that's like 2 or 3 nights or something, then this could be a long time. Just reading people's references on there, it looks like there's some people that like live off of this site pretty much and just travel around the world just house sitting for people for 2-3 weeks at a time and skipping around like that. So yeah, I'm I'm pretty stoked about it. And the people seem really cool. I think almost everyone on here, or a lot of people, are like remote workers, whether they're the ones pet sitting or the ones with the homes. They're people who just love travel. Obviously love animals. It's a lot of dogs and cats on there, but I even saw some stuff with like pigs and goats and all that kind of thing too that you can be looking after. And yeah, houses in the mountains and in cities, all kinds of stuff. So I think it is going to be some pretty cool people that I'll be meeting on either ends of these sits if I end up doing a bunch of them. So with that in mind, and I was looking everywhere for something coming up. And I was looking out in Florida because I'm close to there, but this one in San Diego just seemed perfect, and obviously they got back to me right away. So I got to get there. So I found a plane ticket from Fort Lauderdale to Vegas for $28. This is the cheapest plane ticket across the country. So Fort Lauderdale is like a 10 or 12 hour drive from where I'm at right now. So I got the ticket. I just went ahead and got it. And I went ahead and booked free Vegas rooms because I still got those Vegas rooms at least to the end of the year to use before they, cut me out. I think the jig might be up at the end of the calendar year with the free Vegas stuff, at least to a certain degree. So that's booked and booked. So all I gotta do is hitchhike to Fort Lauderdale, and I got about a week to get there, which is ample time. And yeah, it's just gonna be getting warmer as I get down there. So I'm kind of stoked. There's plenty of good stuff on the way. If I want to, maybe stop in Savannah, which is where this couple in San Diego I'll be dog sitting for. That's where they're going, oddly enough, is Savannah. I think that's home for them, original home. So I might stop there. Might see some friends in Florida. Just depends on what kind of rides I get, how quickly I'm moving. But I'm excited for that. And then, yeah, that'd be the idea. Fly to Vegas, use some free nights there. Maybe use some free nights in Laughlin while I'm there. I don't know. Get on down to San Diego and, yeah, start pecking away at some pages on this old script. And then see what's next once I finish what the next move is on that. Yeah, and I'm still eager to get out of the country, make a move, but this is gonna get me through the new year and yeah, figure out what comes after that. So yeah, that's the deal. That's where I'm at right now. I will try to get up that video with the new BivyPack, showing that off because it is pretty cool. I want people to check it out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be like mass producing those or not, but everything's up in the air. Just having a good time. Anything else? I don't believe so. I think just life is good. So check out that Trusted House Sitters if you're traveling. Definitely seems like something I should have been doing for a while already. Now I've done a bunch of like house sits and pet sits for people, but it's all just been like, word of mouth, friends and stuff like that. But yeah, this is just a way to do it even more if I want to. It looked like there's even like overnight stuff, which is kind of weird. I don't know if I would do that, but up to like 3 months where people need their house watched after, which also I probably would not do. But a few weeks, that's the sweet spot for me if I'm doing a project. So yeah, definitely check it out. I'll put the thing in the description. Yeah, happy days are here to stay. And there won't be as big of a gap between this and the next episode. Maybe the next time you see me, I'll be at their house in San Diego with this doggy. You can meet that dog. And good times. All right, you guys. Happy travels. I will see you down the road. I need a new escape. With all my shit straight, I'll get my big brain.